Going live. Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Hitman 3 on the 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 570, 580, 1650 Super, and maybe after this live stream I do another doing the 2060. How are you guys doing? Good to see you there. So, I downloaded the game. Unfortunately, there was no preload or anything like that on the Epic Game Store, but the game is finally here with us. I'm selecting now first the 1050 Ti, so we're doing 1080p, and as you can see there are a lot of options here, even variable rate shading. I tried it before starting the live stream and it didn't seem to make a huge difference on the 1050 Ti, but hey, for now these are the options. How are you guys doing? Good seeing you there. It's been a while, so yeah, time to test Hitman 3. I'm a big fan of Hitman 2 and Hitman 1 and Hitman Blood Money, so this is a great one for me. I've been waiting for it for a while. Hi guys, good seeing you there. Big fan from India, well, big fan from Uruguay. I love you guys. Cat, yeah sure, why not? Okay, so I'm going to start with ultra settings on 1080p on the 1050 Ti. So as you can see, we got new options in comparison to Hitman 2. You can even disable the reflections now from day one. And there's variable rate shading, which I'm not sure if it works on this card. I've been trying it with the benchmark tools, and I didn't notice a difference in performance, I mean. So let's start like this. I also lowered the simulation quality from best to base, so we help the CPU as much as possible. And yeah, basically maxed out. So let's give it a try. Let me zoom out and play the game. So we're getting into the game now. Waiting for the whole day. Well, I just woke up a few hours ago, so I've been waiting since yesterday to get to play this game. Super excited. How are you doing, Martian Defender? Yeah, the graphics guy is back. OS, here we go again. So yeah, we're now into Hitman 3. Super excited. I'm a huge fan of Hitman. Hello, One Rowan. How are you doing, man? Good seeing you. Hopefully we can connect to the server. There was also an option to carry over my progress from previous Hitman games to this one, but the servers are super hammered on. I mean, I couldn't log in to get my Hitman 2 progress. So we're just going to first try every level to see which one performs the worst. And then we're going to play a little bit. So we got Dubai, Dartmoor, Berlin, Chongqing, Mendoza, so Argentina, my neighbors, and the mountains. Personally, I think Dartmoor is going to be the most demanding due to the amount of foliage. I can already tell you it's probably going to run the worst, but we're going to go one by one. So first, let's go to Dubai, and let's see how it runs. So remember, this is ultra settings on the 1050 Ti on 1080p resolution.
Look closer.
Going to skip the the cutscenes. So yeah, let's get right away there. Big fan from India, well, big fan from Uruguay. Hope you're doing great, guys. Buen dia, buen dia.
Welcome to Dubai, 47.
All right.
Come in, 47.
So Dubai, I'm going to lower my volume,
Heading towards the point of entry.
Good.
and I'm going to crank up the volume so you guys can hear. So as I was saying, Dubai, now we're getting 50 frames, but there's not much on the screen. We're just looking at nothing. So we gotta go to the part with people on screen. So let's just advance to that part. As you can see, there's a reflection of 47 here. This is not RTX or anything like that. It's an older technique that reflects the characters. So yeah, not RTX, but it's a very demanding way to do reflections, just like on previous Hitman. So some things are reflected, but it's a huge performance hit. Yeah, it's going to be similar to Hitman 2 apparently, but I'm seeing that it runs slightly better, so I think they optimized the engine a little bit better.
I think I can override the Windows controls from here.
Alright, so there's hacking now in this game apparently. So I feel like I'm playing Watch Dogs. Okay, cool. Interesting.
I'm in position.
47, the inauguration is taking
You think
place
8 GB
close
of
by.
RAM will be
Once you've
fine? Yeah,
infiltrated it,
probably.
get your
I
bearings.
mean,
I'm sure
Hitman
there
2
must be
already
floor
ran
plans
pretty
somewhere.
well considering the graphics.
We need absolute
So,
focus on
yeah.
this one. If Ingram and Stuyvesant
Hola,
are led to our
Unlike,
presence,
¿cómo
we may
estás?
lose
How are you
them for
doing,
good.
Unlike? Long time
We
no
are so
see.
close, 47.
Yeah, the trailer looked promising and
not
awesome,
going anywhere.
but Hitman 2 already looked great and played great, at least in my opinion. So I'm not expecting a huge difference on this one, really, same engine. And as you can see now that there's more stuff on the screen, we're getting 30 frames per second. But again, whoa, that was a nice transition there. So as I was saying, now that there's stuff actually happening on screen, we're getting over 30 frames per second. But I mean, this is the highest settings on 1080p. Okay, cool. Now we're into a place with a lot of NPCs. And the CPU is not struggling at all. I mean, the CPU is at 30%. So quad cores should do the job just fine on this one.
Familiar faces here today. This has been a dream of mine for
So yeah, perfect. I mean, over 30 frames, ultra settings, 1080p. I mean, nice. Good stuff. So let me do a few tweaks. Let's see what makes the difference. So I'm going to lower the level of detail. On Hitman 2 it made a huge difference. So let's put it on medium. So we jump from 37 to 39. Not a huge difference in this level at least. Then we lower the SSAO to medium. And we jump, okay, 42. Shadows, normal. Let's lower the shadows. It didn't make a huge one here anyways. Mirror reflection, let's put it on low. There are a lot of reflections. Screen space reflections, let's try it on low as well, 52. Simulation quality, let's keep it on the minimum like we were a second ago. And it doesn't seem to make a huge difference like this. Let's go without reflections, without mirrors, low shadows, no SSAO. And let's see if we can maintain a good frame rate. Alright, so low settings 1080p now. So 1080p, this is very quick. We're going to jump into another level. This is now low settings 1080p. And as you can see, we're getting 60 frames in this part. On ultra settings, we were into the 30s. But as you can see, there are no reflections. The shadows are pretty poor. We don't have any ambient occlusion. So yeah, the game looks significantly worse, in my opinion at least, because the visual thing about Hitman is all those nice surfaces. So the reflections missing here make a huge difference. At least we have cube maps. And we get 60 frames. So if you wanted to get 60s, you can do it on 1080p low, at least in this level. So let's go all the way back into the menu. And we're going to max it out once more. So we go all the way up again. And what I'm trying to do here is show you the other levels. Let's see which one runs the worst. So far, this one didn't drop anywhere close below 30 frames per second. So we're back on the highest settings now. So 1080p Ultra. So as you can see, over 30 frames per second. But I mean, look at that difference. There is reflections, a lot of them. There is ambient occlusion. There's even reflections down here. So perfectly clean floors, as you can see. So now let's swap to a different level. Unfortunately, I don't have any guns with me. So we're just going to subdue a random person and try to get attacked. So yeah, let's kick everybody's asses. Yeah, it doesn't seem to affect performance that much. We're still over 30. This is the best way to test Hitman. Just blow your cover. So, yeah, not much scaling between presets, but I mean, you can get 60s if you wanted, which is good. So let's go now back to the menu and try the England part. But I mean, it's completely playable at 30 frames in my opinion. So we tried Dubai, it ran fine. Let's try Dartmoor. This one, in my opinion, should be the worst one in the performance side, because there's a lot of foliage that killed the performance in my Hitman 2 runs. So My expectation is that this one is going to run the worst, but hey, let's give it a look. And yeah, for a story game,
Thornbridge Man.
okay, 30 frames per second, good. Nice to see that we can still get 30s despite all the foliage. I mean, it looks pretty good. This looks better than Hitman 2. At least this level looks pretty good. So yeah, let's try to infiltrate.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here.
Let's go this way.
Maybe you should do some
Yeah, good
detecting
FPS
yourself.
considering it's a new game.
A famous private investigator summoned by Alex.
Alright, private investigators, so let's follow him. I'm just trying to get into... Okay, guards. I'm just trying to get into the manor now. Let's see if that makes any difference. But at the moment, even in parts with tons of foliage, we're getting over 30 frames. One other thing I forgot to mention, the game is DX12 only. It has variable rate shading, but on the 1050 Ti, it didn't seem to make a difference in performance. We're going to try that out later. But yeah, even on places with tons of foliage, I'm getting over 30 on the highest. Let's drop some settings. Let's see if we can do 60 frames in this level. So let's do medium on this. Let's do low. Let's do like before. So we turn off this. We lower all that. The SSR, we disable it. Alright, so low settings now. So this is 1080p low. And we're getting 60s now. Let's see if we can maintain that number here. Okay. So far it appears to be okay. So let's advance. We are Deadly Assassin. Yeah, even looking into all that foliage, it appears to be okay, at least for now. Maybe they optimized the engine a lot. I mean, I wasn't getting these numbers on Hitman 2. So this is pretty surprising. The shadows still look pretty good, despite being low. So I'm pretty impressed so far with what I'm seeing here. They improved the X12 quite a bit in comparison to Hitman 1 and 2.
By the way, I told Kate about those texts.
Pretty impressed.
Well, I thought she'd be mad.
Let's just
She just thanked me.
blow our cover now and try a different level.
We had a really good talk.
And I forgot to crank up those settings, so let's go up again to the highest. So we crank all this up. Now motion blur, thanks. Hello from Russia, well, hello from Uruguay. Nice seeing you there, man. Welcome to the stream. Te amo también a vos, Moisés Aaron Reyes Valderas. So guys, highest settings again, 1080p. So let's now shoot. Let's see how that affects our frame rates. So far, nothing bad happened. Let's see. Oh, reflective floors. Awesome. Just like in Dubai. Okay, doing well. Oh yeah, give me that. You're done. Yeah, we're still getting 30s. There's even mirror reflections. A lot more reflections than on Hitman 2 so far. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the numbers so far. Good stuff. I mean, this is a 1050 Ti. So imagine how the other cards are going to run this. So let's try the next level. The next level should be... I mean, I think this one should be the most demanding one, but Dubai ran very similar when I was close to a lot of NPCs. So let's try Germany, Berlin. I think this one is going to run better. What the... Come on, let me play. So yeah, hello from toilet. Well, I'm glad that you are being distracted at least. I hope you have a good one, a good toilet. You should be comfortable. Alright, so Berlin. Highest settings, we're getting 30 frames per second, over 30. And there are a good amount of reflections. Let's see how long this lasts. There's also a lot of trees here. So let's see how long we can maintain this number. But so far it's running better than than the other levels, at the moment at least. Why does the wood floor look so shiny? Kinda looks bad. Well, probably because it's a mansion. They're probably cleaning it every 5 minutes, so it looks good. But I think it adds to the atmosphere of Hitman, that every place is like super, how to say it, super like refined. You're attacking some big target, someone that is very important. That's how I feel about the levels, at least. And yeah, apparently this one doesn't seem to be that different. It's running pretty bad when I look this way for some reason. What is this? Flyer. Okay, so I see. So the part that runs bad is when I look this way, because the rest of the level is this way. So this is the place that is running the worst so far, 25 FPS. Probably because of this light. Let's get past it. Yeah, no, it's not the light, it's the forest. So this is what is running the worst by far. But there's also a very heavy depth of field effect. That's probably what's killing it. Let's try to lower that draw distance. That's probably the reason. So level of detail on high. No, on medium. Okay, so level of detail, that's what makes the difference. So guys, in this level, my advice is to lower the level of detail from ultra to medium. It controls the draw distance of the vegetation and all that good stuff. So yeah, in this part we're getting below 30, and we get past this part we're getting 30s again. So this is ultra settings with medium level of detail, so medium LODs, and that improved the frame rate quite a bit. So yeah, that gave us over 30 frames. So this is running the worst so far, just like on Hitman 2. The parts with tons of foliage, at least, are what ran the worst. But still, we didn't do anything, and it was only this section with tons of trees. And there's a lot of people there. So let's crank it up again. Let's see how long we can hold it. Okay, 30 frames on the highest. So I'm investigating, that's why I'm taking so long. Oh, there's guards.
Do you copy? Shit. Yeah. It's terrible reception.
Yeah, terrible reception. How inconvenient.
Agent Price.
Agent Price. Captain Price. Yeah, killed him. Let's listen to the communications. Nice optimization. Happy to see 1080p 30 with a 1050 Ti. Yeah, and this is the highest settings.
Keep trying, Agent Montgomery. Our client considers
But as you can see, there's always
47
sections
Liberty
with
Hall
tons
as a
of people
serious
on screen.
You can't
And
underestimate them.
the only part that gave me problems was that small part in the forest.
Good.
But
Report
still,
back to me if there's anything.
Don't worry.
I mean, it was only a part with nothing going on, just walking. So I can look over it for now. Yeah, come on here. Let's see if I can disguise with women's clothes. Maybe, who knows.
I'm not going.
Got her. Yeah, I cannot use women's clothes. That's disappointing. That's not realistic. I mean, imagine Hitman with those clothes. That would be amazing. Alright, got him. And you are not, you do not care at all, so... Alright, got some disguise. Nice clothes, by the way. Saludos de Durazno. Bueno, saludos a Durazno desde acá, Montevideo. Y a Marcos, por supuesto. So, guys, as you can see here, what was demanding was the very start of the level. Let's get inside this party. Let's see how it goes. And we're going to swap levels. Any news on the 3050? Nothing new. But once I know anything about it, I'm going to tell you guys. Alright, into the party now. As you can see, again, super clean floors, great reflections. So, Yeah, this is the part where you actually play the game. So it does run better than the forest. The forest was just running around, so I'm going to ignore it for now. Let's get into the party. Can I get into the party? Probably a lot of people. Okay, almost into the party. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even in this part, we're getting 30 frames per second. A lot of NPCs, as you can see. I'll probably lower the draw distance a little bit. So let's try the lowering the settings all the way down. Let's see if 60s is doable in this level. So we're going to lower everything. Everything lowered. Oh, even the level of detail. Yes, please, lower that level of detail. Hey buddy, hoping to check out the VR version later. Yeah, I mean, it looked very exciting, Paradise Decay, but it's only on PlayStation right now. That's the super exciting part for me, at least. So as you can see, guys, in this level, on the lowest settings, we cannot get 60 frames. So this is definitely more demanding than the other two levels I tried. So we're probably going to test this one, at least for now. We cannot get 60s. So interesting to see. So let's now do the highest, and let's swap levels to something else. So we crank it all the way up again. So we get 30 frames. And we change levels. I have the same CPU. Did you overclock it? No, I didn't. No overclock unless it's specified in the description. So yeah, no overclocking. Let's go to the next level now. So out of the 3 levels I tested, the third one is the most demanding. So things to keep in mind. So destinations, we tried Dubai, Dartmoor, Berlin. Let's do Chongqing, Mendoza, and the mountains. So China. Really, the servers are getting hit, as you can see. So let's skip everything. RTX 2060 performance. Yeah, I'm doing a separate live stream after this one, doing the 2060. So stay tuned. I'm going to put the links after this. So, alright, Berlin. This is China now. And it's running basically at 30 frames like the other levels. There's a good amount of reflections. Very little foliage, so that's probably why it runs like this. Let's get to the important section. The section with a lot of NPCs. That's what we're looking for. Do you think it will run well on the 750 Ti? I'm going to try it after the 1050 Ti, so stay tuned. I'm going to be there eventually. But this part looks pretty nice with the rain and everything. That's a good excuse to get reflections. Reminds me of the GTA San Andreas mods that just make the floors wet. But in this game at least it looks cool. So interesting. Oh, and there's even the water even reacts to the player. So pretty interesting.
He was so sore.
Good stuff. Do Hitman 1 and 2 get engine update as well? Yeah, you can play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 levels on this game with the new graphics and all that. So there are some tweaks to the graphics in those levels. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you have Hitman 1 and 2, I mean, if you grab Hitman 1 for free on the Epic Games Store, you should have those levels on with Hitman 3 graphics. So that's a pretty cool thing. In my opinion, at least. But yeah, this level seems to be running consistently at over 30 frames. Yeah, even looking through glass. So let's lower those settings and swap levels. So we lower it to the lowest. Yeah, we don't want anything here. Bye bye. SSR, no thanks. Yeah, everything lowered to the minimum. So 1080p low. And on this one we don't seem to be able to get 60s like on the other ones, so this runs worse than Dubai and Dartmoor, but it runs better than the Berlin level. But as you can see, no 60 frames on the lowest. We're over 50, sometimes dropping into the 40s, but that's about it. So let's crank it up to Ultra again. So we're gonna get that SSAO, those shadows, the mirrors, the screen space reflections. Excellent. Is there ray tracing in this game? I do not know. As far as I know, I didn't try an RTX card yet, but I didn't see any ray tracing options. I did see variable rate shading, so there's that, but the 1050 Ti didn't seem to have a huge impact when using it. So yeah, keep that in mind. As far as I know, no RTX, but it does have good reflections. Let's now go to Argentina, Mendoza. So let's see how that runs. No point going down low if not 60 FPS. Agreed completely. I agree. That's exactly what I think. But hey, some people might be interested, so might as well try. You can have Hitman 2 now. Yeah, Hitman 2, I have it on Steam. I don't know if I can get my levels back. Hopefully I can, but hey, I do not know. Alright, so this is the most demanding level, I can already tell you. I mean, look at that, 20 FPS. And a lot of vegetation, so let's do some tweaks. Let's try to be over 30 frames. But I mean, look at that graphical hit. So 21 FPS. If I lower the draw distance to high, I get 23. If I put it on medium, okay, I get 28. So the draw distance is the issue on this one. Let's lower the SSAO to high and the shadows to high. All right, perfect. So we're doing high settings, medium draw distance. So high, medium level of detail. That seems to be best for this card. So I finally found the level that is demanding, which is the Mendoza level, the Argentinian level. So in my neighboring country, as you can see, lots of vegetation, people into the distance. So by lowering the level of detail to medium and the rest to high, it appears to be fine. Let's talk to Diana. And we skip this. But as you can see, a lot of NPCs into the distance, a lot of vegetation.
I got you an invitation, just like old times.
So let's go. But as you can see, this is the level that I should be testing because it's super demanding in comparison to the other ones. So good thing I found it. So we're going to still try the last level, but low settings, 60 frames, not possible yet. So yeah, let's attack everyone. Oh yeah. Let's be the worst agent ever. Oh, there's flash grenades now. Interesting. That's new. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Oh, there's also... Yeah, that's new. That's pretty cool. But as you can see, yeah, this is the level I should be trying. The Mendoza level in Argentina. Let's jump to the next one. So we're going back to the menu and we're now jumping to the last level. So we're going to crank it up to the highest. Will GT 1010 run GTA 5 1080p normal settings? Yeah, I think so. Should be okay. I think. Don't quote me on that, but my expectation would be that yes, that you can. But hey, who knows? Haven't heard anything about it yet. But it should be doable. I mean, GTA 5 is not super demanding nowadays, so should be fine. So we crank it up to the highest once more. And now we jump into the last level. So destinations, Romania. So the mountains, probably not going to be the most demanding, but hey, let's give it a try. Yeah, I'm going to do more, but I'm going to do 900p and 720p, but first I need to test every level to see which one is the most demanding. So far, the Argentinian level, the Mendoza level, seems to be the worst due to the draw distance, amount of NPCs. There's even some reflections here and there. So yeah, we're going to give it a try.
Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. So let me skip, please. I don't want spoilers for anybody, even for myself. Hello, Andrew Stefan, how are you doing? ¿Qué dices, Senis H? ¿Todo bien? GT1010 isn't a real card, it's like a dev name for a different card. Oh, that's disappointing.
Still clinging on to your self-image.
Yeah, whatever, let me skip. Skip it is skip.
Agent 47, the apex predator.
What is the best and cheap processor for GTX 1650 Super? I would say the Ryzen 3 3100 should be pretty good. Okay, yeah, this is the last level. I'm not going to show you this. It will be spoilers. So, yeah, let's do the Mendoza level and let's play with those settings. So, yeah, the servers are crashing very often, as you can see. So we're going to the easiest difficulty and we're going to give it a try. So, most demanding level so far, this one, the Mendoza level. As you can see on the highest settings, I'm getting 20 frames per second on the 1050 Ti. On the other levels, I could do over 30 just fine with these settings. And thank you so much to Viet An Nguyen, sorry if I messed that up, for the $6.99 Canadian dollars. He says, keep up the good work, my man. Well, thank you so much for going the extra mile with that donation. Super generous, man. And yeah, I'm going to keep it up. I enjoy doing this and you guys also seem to like it, so I want to keep it up. So, let me show you the best settings for the 1050 Ti in this game on 1080p. So, level of detail on medium, so you get that decent draw distance and the extra performance. Screen space ambient occlusion on high. Shadow quality on high. And that's basically it. High settings, medium level of detail. That gives you, hang on, high plus medium LOD. So this will be my optimal settings for 1080p. As you can see, 30 frames per second. We cannot get 60s, unfortunately. And with these settings in the other levels, you'll be over 30 as well. So it should get you covered since this is the most demanding one. So yeah, 1080p. That's how you see it right here. I test the entire game on 1080p and these are the best settings for me. So let's do now 900p. So we're going to lower to 900p. Okay, so now we're at 900p and we're going to try the highest first. So 900p Ultra will be the first one. And I'm going to tweak the FPS counter, you cannot see it. So 900p Ultra is what's coming now. So mirrors on the highest, shadows on the highest, SSAO on the highest. And as you can see, 900p still not enough to get 30s on the highest settings. So let's tweak it on 900p as well. On 900p should be just a matter of lowering level of detail to high. So yeah, basically. So Ultra plus LOD high. So for 900p, you basically need this for 30 frames. Let me save my progress here so it's easy to jump back in. So yeah, as you can see, 900p, just by lowering the level of detail to high, it appears to be fine. And remember, this is worst case scenario deal.
Not unless you want it to be seen.
So yeah, 900p, just lower this to high,
The only one who's been busy, 47.
and you'll be okay.
I'm this close to becoming the next constant. I'll be able to dismantle Providence
Come
from
on.
the inside. Only
Oh, I don't have the
one has
invitation, I forgot to pick it up.
Don Yates. That weasel was the partner's legal counsel for
Oh,
years.
I screwed up.
He's the top candidate.
Sorry.
Remove him from the panel.
Sorry, I didn't want to trespass.
Won't work.
Nah, never mind, I did want to. I cannot save my progress.
I will convince
Sorry,
you
sorry.
you acted alone. Retaliation.
Let's stay right here.
Gray. Trust me. I know what I'm doing.
And I'm going to save the progress in this point. So we can jump into a fight right away.
Tomorrow, Vidal. She has eyes
So
everywhere.
we kill everyone. Come on, fight me.
She never missed my sight.
Come on, I'm shooting people. You should be fighting me now.
Please don't kill me.
Come on. Yeah, as you can see, 900p, even when fighting, you are getting 30 frames like this on ultra settings, high LODs. So let's try now the lowest settings. So we're trying to get 30 frames. So low settings, no reflections, no mirrors, low shadows, no SSAO. So 900p lowest. So let's try it that way. Let's see if we can get 60s. Okay, in this fight at least, we are getting 60s, so that's good news. I'm now loading the part of the level at the start. So let's find out. Okay, so when looking into the distance, we're getting over 50. With the lowest settings, 900p. So good stuff. Over 50, so if you want a smoother experience, 900p seems to be the way to go, but you lose the reflections, you lose the ambient occlusion, you get the worst shadows that actually look pretty good to be the lowest shadows.
You're not the only one who's been busy, 47. I'm this close to becoming
So,
the
yeah.
next constant. I'll be able to dismantle.
Let's be the worst
profits from the
agent
inside.
ever, like you guys are saying in the chat.
One man stands in my way.
Yeah, goodbye. So yeah, on 900p on the lowest, you can get over 50 in the worst performing level. Pretty interesting. Yeah, even when fighting, we're getting over 50. So in my book, those are decent numbers, considering it's a new game on the 1050 Ti. So trying to do... Oh yeah, I'm going to turn off the subtitles. Thanks for reminding me of that. I didn't want any spoilers, so thank you, Burdock, for reminding me of that. I don't want to spoil anyone. So let's go into the options and let's disable those subtitles. Thank you, sir. So let's now do 720p. So 720, we're going to see how it goes. Let me fix the FPS counter. There we are. So 720p Ultra is the first we're doing. So 720p Ultra. So 720p Ultra, that's what we're doing right now. So SSR on the highest, mirrors on the highest, shadows on the highest, ambient occlusion on the highest, and draw distance on the highest. And as you can see, even at 720p, we're having trouble with the highest draw distances, in this level at least. So what we're doing at 720p for 30 frames, again, just like on 900p, go into the options and lower that level of detail to high. It's a lot of stuff into the distance. Apparently the game requires a lot of resources for that. Y muchas gracias Nacho Morfeo por los 75 pesos uruguayos, se agradece un montón. Dice para que te compres otro bidón de Salus. Bueno, muchas gracias. Justo tengo uno acá al lado de mis pies. Muchísimas gracias por la donación. Se agradece un montón. Espero que estés teniendo un día excelente. Y se agradece un montón. Muchas gracias, Nacho. So, guys, as I was saying, even at 720p, the highest draw distance, the LOD, it's too much for this card. There's a lot of stuff into the distance, a lot of foliage, a lot of NPCs. So just lower those level of details to high. It saves you on a lot of resources. But as you can see, 720p, you can do similar to 900p. This level seems to be a little too much.
You got my message.
Oh yeah, give me that brick. Let's do some mayhem.
Not unless you want it.
Why are you still smile? Because I can. It's free, man. It's free to smile.
You're not the only one who's been busy.
It's
47.
completely free.
I'm this close to
So might as well
becoming
do
the
it.
next constant.
So let's
I'll
do
be
a
able
good
to
strategy
dismantle
now.
Providence from the inside. Only one man stands in my way.
So I'm doing the Last of Us approach. Throw a brick to your problems.
He's the top.
And as you can see at 720p, we're getting better numbers here. But similar settings to 900p because the ultra level of detail is just too much in this level. But as you can see, even when chaos happens, we're over 30 with these settings. So let's now try to get 60s. So let's go back to the start of the level once more. And let's try to get 60 frames at 720p. Maybe we can keep better graphics, who knows. So yeah, how many GPUs do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 cards. So it's time now to do some tweaks. So medium level of detail. Okay, that gave us a huge boost into the mid 40s. SSAO, let's put it on medium or low. Yeah, low seems to be best. Shadows on normal. Okay, that was a good improvement. Medium screen space reflections, medium mirrors. I probably can tweak something else. Let me check it out super quickly. Maybe this makes a difference. Yeah, barely. So let's keep it at 16 times. Yeah, 16 times all the way. Shadows on low, maybe. Shadows on low looked fine anyways. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a major boost, but let's keep it on low like that. So with this, we should retain the reflections, the shadows, the ambient occlusion, and the level of detail. So we should have basically everything. So this will be like medium settings. Yeah, medium to low. But we retain the visuals. We get decent shadows. We get reflections. We get ambient occlusion. We get everything. So it shouldn't be looking bad, to say it in some way. So medium level of detail, because a lot of stuff into the distance. Low SSAO, so we get some sort of ambient occlusion. Shadows on low, they look fine. Mirrors on medium, so we get some sort of reflection. Same with screen space reflections and no motion blur, basically, on 720p. And looking into the distance, we're getting 50s, over 50. And let's go to a fight. If you had higher end budget, would you test mid or higher end GPUs, or you're exclusively focused on lower end? At the moment, only lower end because it's a lot of time already. But if I manage to get more cards, I can do a separate live stream doing higher end stuff. So the live streams will be the same as this, but then I'll do a high end live stream, to say it in some way, so I can cover basically everyone. So yeah, as you can see right here, we get decent shadows, there is reflections, as you can see, stuff is getting reflected. We get the mirrors, we get everything. And we're still over 60, basically. So yeah, if you want to play at 60 and you don't mind lowering that resolution, this is how you do it at 720p. So yeah, super cool, super cool. So let's now swap GPUs. Before doing that though, let's go back into 1080p so I can swap to the 750 Ti. Oh, you know what? Let's keep it like this. So 720p best settings. Let me show you if you want 60 frames. All you need to do is medium level of detail, high textures, low SSAO, low shadows, medium mirrors, medium screen space reflections. And that's basically it for 720p 60 frames. If you want to do 1080p, you need a low level of detail and the rest on medium to high. I already showed that. So time to swap GPUs to the 750 Ti, the legendary graphics card. So let's turn the PC off. 720p, 70 FPS, 1050 Ti. Yeah, I mean on a mix between medium and low. So that's pretty interesting, at least in my opinion. So now what we're going to do is 720p low on the 750 Ti. I don't have high hopes because it's DX12 only, but hey, we might be impressed. So time to swap GPUs. 1 second, guys. So here's the 1050 Ti we just removed from the PC. Let's put it to the side. And it's time to plug in the 750 Ti, the legendary graphics card from 2014. We're still using it. All right, it's in. That's what he said. So good. What we're doing now is waiting for the drivers to load. And we're going to jump into the game once more. Stop spamming. Okay, yeah, spammers are not allowed. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Super important. 750 Ti. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Yeah, agreed completely. But hey, we're trying our best. Don't worry, guys. They want attention? Yeah, well, this is not the place. Yeah, let's see, 750 Ti. Alright, so we're back into the PC now. We should. Okay. We'll launch MSI Afterburner. Okay, 750 Ti. Okay, it recognized the card right away. Good news. Waiting for the boom sound. Don't worry. We're going to make it ourselves. So I'm waiting for the Epic Games Store to load. Come on, Epic Games Store. Come on, waiting for you. Well, thank you, Santos. Highly appreciated, man. Are you using a PCI Express extender cable thing? No, I'm not. Okay, so 750 Ti. We're going to start with 720p. But let's be... Okay, the game is telling us that we have to use low textures. Okay, cool. Let's use medium level of detail. Medium SSAO. Let's put it on medium. So everything on medium. Variable rate shading, as far as I know, doesn't work with this card, so we keep it on medium. Let's just do it like that for now. So 720p medium. My expectation is over 30 frames on the worst level. Then on the higher resolutions, we're going to have to lower everything, I guess. So yeah, let's jump straight into the game once more. I don't know the 750 Ti was that big. Well, the one I have is dual fan. So that's why, probably. Are you testing Can you test in Devil May Cry? I already did. Devil May Cry 5 and even the previous ones that they made a collection. I made that. You can find it by just look up my channel name and Devil May Cry. You'll find all my videos on it. So yeah, we're doing 720p medium. How much Hitman 3 right now on Epic? I do not know. It varies from region to region. So check it out on your Epic Games Store. There's a link in the description. So let's jump straight into Mendoza. That's the one that ran the worst. Yeah, the servers of Hitman 3 are crashing. Apparently, I'm getting a lot of issues logging in. But that's fine. It works. So as I was saying, this is the worst running level. So this is the 750 Ti. So this is the lowest end card I have available. Alright, so 720p medium, 30 frames per second. So good stuff. Low textures, as you can see, because we only have 2 gigs of memory. But it looks decent enough. So you can do medium settings 720p.
Here, sir. I got you an invitation, just like old times.
Alright, let's grab that brick. Hell yeah. Yeah, it runs. So if you have a 750 Ti, you can still run the game at very good graphics. I mean, shadows look good. There's reflections, there's mirrors, there's basically everything. Let's see, once we get into a fight. Yeah, there's still reflections. Okay, in the fight, we're dropping some frames. We got reflections, we got basically everything. We're still over 30 frames, so good start. I mean, it runs Hitman 2016, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3. So you can play the entire franchise. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Yeah, basically. So if you have a 750 Ti, even with the low expectations, you can get 30 frames at 720p. So incredible stuff. Let's try 1080p now. Let's see if we can even do 1080p. Oh, I selected the wrong resolution. 10. Oh, come on, game. Stop playing with my feelings. Jesus Christ. 1080p. Alright, so 1080p. Let's try the lowest settings. So everything on the lowest. At least maybe we can get 30 frames. Those are my hopes. Okay, everything on the lowest at 1080p. And we're getting... Okay, upper 20s. So 1080p not recommended for this card. We're going to try 900p after this. So legendary card, cannot do 1080p on the worst part of this game. Probably the other levels is fine. Okay, got them all. Okay, got disguised. Diana's running away. Bye-bye, Diana. So yeah, as you can see on 1080p lowest, we're still dropping below 30 frames. So 1080p not recommended for this card. 900p though might be a good option. So let's give it a try to 900p. So 900p low is what I'm using now. So 900p low. And we're fixing the FPS counter. So 900p low, we're getting over 30 frames. So 900p low will be the highest resolution. Medium is probably going to be safe for 720.
Holy shit! Take it easy. That's to the head.
Yeah, even on low, 900p has some trouble hitting 30 all the time. But I mean, this is the worst case scenario by a long shot. We're going to try 1080p overclocked. But as you can see, without any tweaks whatsoever, we're getting 30 frames on 900p low, 30 frames on 720p medium, and on 1080p we're not getting 30s. So yeah, as you can see, you can do 900p low, 720p medium, or 1080p with an overclock. So let's do a quick overclock and try 1080p once more. So let's see, hang on, I'm pausing the game. Hello from Russia, nice content, dude. Well, thank you so much. Russian person that just wrote that has a green profile picture. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. So time to do 1080p at the lowest once more, but this time we're going to overclock. So 1080p low. We fix the FPS counter. And let me go to the desktop to overclock the card. So we're doing the usual stuff. We're adding 200 megahertz to the core and 400 megahertz to the memory. That's my overclock on this card, that I know that it's stable. So we jump into 1376, 1389 megahertz on the core. And on the memory, we jump higher. So this is 750 Ti overclocked. So there's now an overclock in place. And as you can see now, we're getting 30 frames. Exactly 30 frames. So let's go take the fight outside. Okay, perfect. Let's get to the skies. And Diana's running away once again. Bye-bye, Diana. So as I was saying, if you want to do 1080p on the lowest, you can do so, but you need an overclock on your 750 Ti. As you can see, with 1370 MHz overclock and 3100 MHz on the memory, you can get 30 frames on 1080p, so still worthy. Call an ambulance, but not for me. As I was saying before. So yeah, you can still do it, but you need to lower those settings. We're getting 60 at 480p. I don't think I will. I'll do it very quickly so you guys can check it out. But I mean, I think it's kind of a waste of time. So 720p now on the lowest settings. And let's restart the level. Oh, come on. Come on, don't give me more error messages. I just want to play the game. Jesus Christ. Hello, how are you doing, guys? Good seeing you there. So this is now 720p low, and as you can see, it's not enough for 60 frames, but I mean, it's a 750 Ti. I'm not expecting 60 frames, and there's nothing lower than 720p, so yeah. As of right now, this is the way to go. So let's swap to the 570 now. So as you can see, the 750 Ti worked. You can do 720p medium, 900p low, on 1080p low if you go for the for an overclock. We're going to do 1080p ultra now on the 570. So time to swap GPUs. Give me 1 second, guys. So here's a legendary card. It can still run games, as you can see, despite its age. And now time for the 570. So 4 gigabytes, wish me luck. Alright, the 570 is into the PC now. Time to wait for the drivers to load. In the meantime, I'll read some messages. Try 4K on the 750 Ti. No, I'm good. I mean, destroying the graphics card, that's for the end of the live stream when I have the 1650 Super. That I just try to force 8K and then see how the game behaves. But right now, it's time to just test GPUs. Time for the 570 now. So allow me 1 second, I need to do some... Okay, we're into the menu now. Let me show you the Radeon settings. So we're now with the 570 into the computer. And I'm going to enable GPU scaling. So my capture card looks fine, to say it in some way. And then the pixel format, we're on full RGB, so the colors look correct on our footage. Okay, perfect. So now that's done. Let's jump straight into the game. Hitman was usually AMD, running better on AMD. So what we're going to try now is jumping straight into the highest settings, 1080p. I expect over 30 frames, but on the highest settings, the draw distance is a little bit overkill. So we're going to find out now. Still a decent 1080p card, I agree completely, yeah. I'm waiting for the Epic Games Store to load. Come on, Epic Games Store. Let me enter my game that I paid for. Okay, perfect. Options. Okay, 570. Let's do 1080p. Level of detail on ultra. High textures. Ultra SSAO. Ultra shadows. So high mirrors. High reflections. Bit of a ray shading. I'm going to try it at the end. It's probably going to make a difference on this one. So yeah, those are the settings that I'm using right now. So let's jump into the game. Some water. Delicious. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, 1650 Ti doesn't exist on the desktop, but it should be a laptop GPU. So let's see how it runs. We're going directly into the worst running level. Time for the 570. Hype. Give me some hype. Come on. All right, destination. Let's go to Mendoza in Argentina, or Mendoza, how it should be called. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I have big expectations. I mean, the level of detail is going to kill the frame rate, but yeah. Okay. So, as you can see, on the highest settings, we're getting 30 frames per second, which is expected. Let me tell you why. Because the draw distance in this level is ridiculous. So let me do, I'm sure that I lowered the draw distance. I did improve significantly. I put draw distance on medium. Yeah, I mean, if I put draw distance on medium, I jump all the way into the 50s. So this level has that problem. The LOD just kills the performance. I mean, just look at that difference. I lowered the draw distance from ultra to medium, and I got double the frame rate. So ridiculously better, ridiculously better. So keep that in mind. Game size 55 gigabytes. That was the download size. But as you can see, by just lowering the draw distance to medium, I got double the frame rate. So this level has an issue with level of detail. So medium, in my opinion, is the way to go for this card. So what I'm going to try right now very quickly is the variable rate shading. So with these settings, I'm getting 50s, as you can see. Well, 40 to 50. So let's try variable rate shading and see if that improves the frame rate. Unfortunately, I need to restart the game for that. But it's going to be super quickly, so we can see if it makes any difference whatsoever. So I just quit the game. 1 second, guys. Come on. All right. Plus variable rate shading. Since I'm pretty sure that this card supports it natively. All right. So this should improve performance. So let's put it on performance, the variable rate shading, and let's see if it works as it should. So let's see. Yeah, similar to Whistleton Creek. Yeah, exactly like that. So there's always one level that has issues with the level of detail. So destroys the performance on ultra level of detail. So this one was no different. You upgraded your 1050 Ti to 3060 Ti. Well, that's a huge boost. Enjoy your card, man. Great purchase. Alright, let's see if it works. As you can see, Hitman servers are getting hit with so many people trying to play. I hate when that happens. Come on, lock me in so I can play. Waiting for you. Connecting, okay. Fetching profile, okay, I managed to connect again, awesome. Please. Let's go to this level once more. Come on. Okay, loading the level once more. As you could remember, with these settings, without variable rate shading, I was getting 45 to 55 FPS. Let's see it now. Okay, 45 to 50. Yeah, it runs basically the same. So variable rate shading didn't have an impact here. Maybe it's not working on this card. Who knows? So yeah, we're getting basically the same numbers as before. So let's try to get 60s before doing anything else. So we're going to lower basically to high settings. The SSR to medium. Let's do medium. Let's be more realistic for a second. So let's do medium settings. Okay, medium settings. Yeah, I'm not seeing the GPU being maxed out. So yeah, that's probably one thing we're getting with these AMD cards. At least in this level, the GPU is not getting maxed out at all. So medium. We're at 85% usage. So let's teleport all the way down there. Let's see how the frame rate holds up. But yeah, looking into the distance, it's having trouble.
You'd never get caught on camera. Not unless you wanted to be seen.
But I'm not seeing the GPU being maxed out, which is pretty disappointing.
You're not the only one.
Maybe it's a thing with the game, I do not know.
I'm this close to becoming the next constant. I'll be able to dismantle Providence from the inside.
So yeah, as you can see on medium settings, we're into the 50s, still into the 50s. So it didn't change that much than just lowering the draw distance. So yeah, medium settings should be the way to go, at least right now. Let's try increasing some stuff. The draw distance, we're keeping it the same because it seems to be the worst running stuff. We're going to try everything on high. So high settings, medium draw distance. So high plus medium LOD. So high settings, but the level of detail is on medium. Things to keep in mind. Yeah, I mean, it didn't change that much. We're still to the 50s like before. So maybe it's a thing with this level. Let's load it up again and check it out once more. CPU clock bottleneck. Yeah, maybe it's how the game uses the CPU. Maybe. But usually when looking into the distance is when I'm getting those problems. Let's try lowering the draw distance to low. Yeah, that increases like 5 FPS. So definitely a thing with this level in particular. So yeah, when looking into the distance, I'm getting that issue. But it's using the GPU more than before. Nice selfie.
You'd never get caught on camera.
But I mean, it's easily getting over 50 frames. You don't have to do much effort at all. High settings, medium level of detail. And in the worst running level, we're getting over 50 basically all the time. So yeah, I mean, it's okay. In my opinion, at least. So yeah. Yeah, it's working fine. So, good thing we can count on the 570 still. Let's try 1440p super quickly. And then we're going to try a different level just to show you the performance. So yeah, we're going to now try 1440p. So a slightly higher resolution, slightly higher, pretty higher. So 1440p high with medium level of detail. Yeah, 20 FPS, but I mean, it's still not using all the GPU. So that's pretty disappointing. Let's try lowering some settings. We're going to lower everything to medium. That probably will help. That's my expectation at least. Okay, everything on medium. So this is 1440p medium. I mean, remember that this game released today, so it's a new game. And the 570 can do 1440p medium. Even when looking into the distance, we're getting over 30 frames per second. So my advice would be, yeah, basically 1080p high with medium draw distance or 1440p medium settings. That appears to be the way. The game looks so much better at 1440p though. So much sharper. It's ridiculous.
You're not the only one who's been busy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm this close.
Yeah, it might be a VRAM issue. That's one thing I didn't think about. I'm going to lower those textures. But I do not know really. I have to give it a try. But as you can see, 1440p is okay. You can do medium settings over 30 frames. So yeah, nothing to worry about. You can play the game just fine. This is the level that ran the worst, at least in my experience, with the hour and 10 minutes that I've been playing this game. I tried all the levels and this one was like the most taxing one. So alright, let's get out of the game and we're going to try lowering those textures to see if that improves our experience in any way. So we're doing 1080p Ultra again. Let's get out of the game. But we're going to lower textures to medium. So medium textures to see if that helps in any way. Sometimes that's an issue. So, and we're on the X12. Is a low GPU usage a game issue or a CPU bottleneck? I do not know. I don't have enough experience with the game to know yet. So yeah, patience. I'm going to keep trying. I'm trying to find out what's the bottleneck. Yeah, maybe VRAM. So VRAM is usually pretty sneaky. So we're doing 1080p. Level of detail, let's keep it on Ultra for now. We're going to lower those textures and the rest on the highest. Just to test it. I know the level of detail will kill the performance. But yeah. Anyways. So highest settings, medium textures. Let me double check. Yeah, medium textures. And let's see how it goes. Is it possible to test the chunking locations. It has plenty of reflections and lighting effects. I already tried it. It didn't run bad at all. It was the second or third worst running area in the game. It has a lot of reflections, yeah, but it didn't seem to be the most taxing location. I'm going to try it out later again. But at the moment I'm trying to find out what's the bottleneck in the Mendoza level, since it's the one that ran the worst by a lot. So yeah, thanks for doing this stuff. You were really helpful when I got my 750 Ti back in the day. Well, thank you so much, Matnam. I'm glad I could help you out. I'm just trying my best, so I appreciate that. Alright, so another try now. Let's see if this fixes the frame rate, the textures. Okay, yeah, still the same. Didn't seem to change much at all. Let's do it like before. We lowered that level of detail to medium. Yeah, we're still getting the same stuff. Yeah, still 40 to 50. So it's a thing with the game and how it uses the CPU. I remember Hitman 2 had some trouble with Ryzen on AMD cards. So maybe this is why. Maybe if you have a higher single-threaded performant CPU or an Intel CPU, it should be running better. So yeah, my advice for most people would be basically high settings, medium draw distance. So you put everything on high, draw distance on medium, and that should give you over 50 when looking into the distance. And then the rest should be okay. So high plus medium LOD, that will be my best settings. Because most people won't have a super fast CPU. So you should be CPU limited, at least in this level. Let me show you the other one more level and then swap to the 580 just to show you. The 580, good thing, it has 8 GB of VRAM, so I can see the VRAM usage. So let's do the one that gave me the most trouble, the Chinese one. This one has a lot of reflections, so good thing that people reminded me of that. But I'm just going to show it super quickly. Not going to play those, what's the name of this? Play the game yet. Okay, so I'm in China now, and as you can see, still not using all the GPU resources. But there's more reflections. The other level that has tons of reflections is Dubai. Dubai has like glass floors. It's kind of ridiculous, but it looks good. So yeah, as you can see, this level is not much of an issue. The GPU can do it just fine. And there are tons of reflections, as you can see here. Reflective surfaces are all around. So yeah, it runs okay. And I'm probably going to show you one more level. So which one should I do now? Yeah, this one is spoilers. Well, Berlin was another one that I had trouble with. So let's do that one. It had a very thick forest at the very start. So let's do that one, and then we're going to swap to the 580. And after the 580, the 1650 Super, and so on. And then we're doing a 2060 live stream. So okay, as you can see, this part, yeah, you're saying, hey, it runs fine, no worries. Well, once you get into the forest, S hits the fan, basically. And there's a lot of heavy depth of field, but I mean, it's not a super demanding game. It's a 570 and I'm getting 60 frames on high settings, well, 60 frames, almost 60 on most levels on high settings with medium draw distances. As you can see, this part with very heavy foliage and depth of field, we get drops into the 50s, but once we're past this part, it's usually fine with medium draw distance. Same happened on Hitman 2, and the GPU is not being maxed out, so if you have a faster CPU, you should be getting even more stable 60s. So, I mean, 60 frames, the game just released, it has a ton of levels from Hitman 1 and 2, so I think this is great news for most people out there that wanted to play this game.
I can hear you. The reception is still...
He Agent Price.
Okay, got you. Finally, a gun. Let's now get into the party. But yeah, as you can see, this level is not demanding at all. Especially if you tweak the settings for the most demanding level. Okay, gotcha. Okay, got them all. But yeah, as you can see, not demanding at all. And yeah, this is the last level I tried. The Dubai level looks amazing with all the reflections and all that good stuff. So let's go to Dubai just to show off the reflections. I mean, the reflections look so cool in this level that I cannot not show it. So yeah, I mean, if you have an Intel CPU of this that is competing with this in this game, it should be better. Because I remember on Hitman 2 I had better results on Intel stuff. So you should be using the GPU even more. As you can see, this part of Dubai doesn't have a lot of stuff going on. That's why we're getting such good numbers. And as you can see, there's a reflection real time. That's just a very taxing way of doing reflections, but they pull it off. I mean, they don't need RTX to do this. So they're doing a great job with that. It's a mix of screen space with those textures. It's like a texture that gives you a real reflection. It's not perfect looking, but it's something.
I'm in position.
47, the inauguration is taking place.
Come on.
Once you've
Move.
infiltrated it, get
47,
your bearings.
run.
I'm sure there must
Do
be
what I'm
floor
saying,
plans somewhere.
please.
Understood.
We need absolute focus on this.
I love
one.
this part.
If Ingram
It has a
and
great
Cyrus are alerted to
transition
our presence, we may lose them for good.
because I'm dressing like a
We are so
secret
close,
agent.
47.
It swaps to the suit in a very fashionable way. I mean, look at this transition. It's going to look amazing. So I'm going to go past those curtains, but pay attention to 47's clothes. Nice. Such a nice transition. I love that.
Welcome to the
So as you can see, the floors are incredibly reflective. So disgustingly clean. And as you can see here, with this many NPCs, all have their respective reflections. There are cube maps as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And this part runs fine.
This has been a dream of mine for a great many years.
So yeah, I mean, good stuff.
And as all of you know, I am from one of these. What the hell are you doing? Give them all you can!
And now I'm getting killed.
someone out like that. You better be ready to pay the consequences.
And as you can see, even when being attacked, I'm still over 60. Yes, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing Hitman 3. So as you can see, the 570 can do it just fine with high settings, medium level of detail. You can get 50 to 60 in most cases. And if you have a faster CPU, it should be even better. You should have even more consistent 60 frames per second. So yeah, now close the game. Let's turn off the PC and put the 580 in. So we're swapping now to the 580. The 570 is doing the job just fine. So yeah, pretty epic. So time to swap GPUs now. 1 second, guys. So here's the 570. Oh, it's hot. Jesus Christ. Let's put it to the side. Oh, it's a hot card. And here's the 580. Triple fan monstrosity of a GPU. 8 gigabytes. Okay, awesome. The 580 is in. So hopefully it does a better job. I'm expecting the same issue as the 570, not using the full GPU, but we can probably crank up those shadows a little bit better. So it's going to be interesting to see. So yeah, time for the 580. Buenos días, Saúl Cauhage. Kawage. Perdón si le embarré ahí. Okay, guys, so we're back into the PC now. So time to do the 580. So let's launch MSI Afterburner. We launch Hitman 3. As you can see, this 580 goes to 1411 megahertz, so it's a little bit higher than the most dual fan cards. And it's the 8GB version, so we can see the usage. We can see the usage of the game on the video memory side, which will be pretty interesting, in my opinion at least. Yeah, it was pretty hot. It burned my hand. Thoughts on 3400G? Should be okay. I mean, it should be worse than this one, but for the game, should be enough. And if you're using the iGPU, it appears to be fine. So 580. Let's do ultra level of detail. It's going to kill the GPU, but hey, whatever. We're going to lower it later. Variable rate shading didn't seem to work on the 570 either, so we're going with the highest of the highest settings. We saved that setting. Also, this game is only DX12. There's no DX11 option for people wondering out there, but it doesn't seem to be the feature level 12_0, so the 750 Ti worked just fine. This game is better with NVIDIA cards. So far, with the NVIDIA card, I saw better usage of the GPU. I saw that the GPU was completely maxed out, so I was using the CPU better. But I'm going to see once I test the 1650 Super to compare it with the 580. It's going to be interesting. How we get the 23 with GPU overclock? What do you mean? 23C? This is a triple fan card, so that's why I do not show temperatures. It's not what most people will get. So I try to show you the best, the most realistic thing possible. So my expectations now are better performance when I lowered that level of detail, but with the level of detail on ultra is going to be super taxing on the game because this level has a lot of stuff into the distance. But by just lowering it to medium, it fixes it, so let's try it out. Faster CPU, but 3600 is fast. Well, I mean, if you have the Intel equivalent, in this case, it should be better, because I remember Hitman 2, I was getting better use of my GPU with an Intel CPU. So, yeah, maybe it's a thing with the engine, I do not know. But yeah, the 3600 is a good CPU. But as you can see, just like the 570, with the level of detail maxed out, we're getting 30 frames in this level. But by just lowering the level of detail to medium, I mean, we're getting 60s already. So plus medium LOD. So you can, in the case of the 580, instead of doing high settings like on the 570, you can do ultra. So instead of lowering stuff to high to get 60s, just lower the level of detail to medium, and you're getting 50 to 60 even here. So not much to say, really.
You got my message.
You'd never get caught on camera.
So yeah, 60 frames, 580, just lower that level of detail to medium, keep the rest maxed out, and you're basically good to go. You don't need much.
I'll be able to dismantle profitably.
Alright, gotcha. But as you can see, the GPU is not completely maxed out. It's in the 80% range. Sorry. Words. So yeah, pretty cool. The VRAM usage below 4 GB, so it's not using a lot of video memory. Come on, connect me to the server, Jesus Christ. Have you tried 1440p? I was about to, so allow me a second, guys. So 1080p, just lowered that level of detail to medium. Then at 1440p, where's the graphics settings? Graphics, ugh. So just before going to 1440p, 1080p, just max it out, medium level of detail, and you're good to go. 60 frames, 50 to 60, depending on your CPU. So now at 1440p, on the highest settings, medium level of detail, so 1440p, We're getting low 40s. Let's see if we can keep that 30 FPS range, but 1440p, doable so far.
You got my message.
So if you don't mind about not 60 frames, you can do it at 1440p. We're going to try 60s after fighting some people here and there.
You're not the only one who's been busy, 47.
How about low level of detail? We're going to try it, but I mean, it's not a huge difference, in my experience at least. Low level of detail didn't make a huge difference, but from ultra to medium, it was a huge improvement. So going to low shouldn't change stuff that much. Holy hell. Yeah, even with people moving around, it was okay. So yeah, it's time to now do... What's the name of this? I'll try to get 60s super quickly and then do 4K. I'm not expecting 60s without going to the lowest, but hey, let's give it a try. What about the Ryzen 3 3100? It shouldn't be that different. This game doesn't seem to utilize all the CPU cores, so it should be okay. If you have a 3100. So let's try normal settings. Whoa. Yeah, normal settings didn't seem to change much at all. So let's go for low. Low, low, low. Everything on low. Okay. So low settings 1440p now. So 1440p low. We're getting 50s here, but again, this part doesn't fully utilize the GPU. So let's go fight again. And as you can see on low settings 1440p, you can do 60s.
You got my message.
I haven't played the first two games. Would you guys recommend getting this game or playing the first two before this? Well, the good thing is that if you get this game and you also own Hitman 1 and Hitman 2, you can play those games, those levels from the previous game in this game. So I recommend playing the other ones, but if you want to jump into this one and don't care about the story, just want to play this game for the sake of it. I mean, the game by itself, without the story, is already amazing. You get like, each level is like a big sandbox that you have different things to do. So it's highly replayable. I recommend playing the first one. It was free on the Epic Game Store. But I mean, if you want to get the best experience, I'll have Hitman 3 with the Hitman 1 and 2 levels. So you get the entire thing. You get a lot of levels. But getting the first one should be the way to go. The first one should give you a good taste of what to expect. So yeah, that would be my advice. Thank you so much to Hub Hodip Das, sorry if I messed that up, your name, for becoming an awesome supporter 1.0. So the tier 1 memberships. So I hope you enjoy your emojis, your icon next to your name and all that good stuff. Thank you so much, man, for supporting the channel directly. And as I was saying, 1440p, low settings, you can do 50 to 60. Let's do 4K now. So 4K. So 4K low settings is what we're doing at the moment. So 4K low. The 4790K should be fine. Should be enough for 50 to 60 as well. So as I was saying, 4K lowest settings. And we're getting 30s looking into the distance. Still, we're not using the entirety of our GPU, so the GPU is not maxed out.
You got my message.
But we're getting 30 frames per second. So if you want to do 4K, you can do it. Just make sure to use low settings in this card. So we're doing 1650 super in a second. Allow me a minute.
This close to becoming the next constant. I'll be able to stand Providence from the inside. Only one man still.
Come on. So yeah, as you can see, guys, 30 frames at 4K. So if you want to do 4K for some reason, you can do it on low settings, but you miss a lot of good quality stuff. I mean, you get the higher pixel count, but you lose a lot of the good details. So yeah. I hope by the time I played Hitman 1 and 2, I can afford a new card, still 750 Ti. I mean, you can still play those games, so that's a good thing in my book. So yeah, I mean, if you get all those 3 games, you can play all the levels with Hitman 3 graphics. So I think that's a good trade-off, personally. Hola Paula. Hola Nacho. Okay guys, so now time for the 1650 Super. So we're swapping GPUs now. So 1650 Super, and we're going the highest settings. Yeah, time to swap to the 1650 Super. 1 second guys. So 580. Oh, it's hot. Why do I do that each time? Am I stupid? So here's the 1650 Super. Let's plug it in. Okay, got it. Time to do the 1650 Super. Let's see how the GPU usage holds up on this one. Not a huge contribution from me, but keep up the good work. Every contribution is welcome. I always appreciate it, so thank you so much, man. Your contribution is always appreciated. Will you try 8K on the 1650 Super? Yes, I'm going to do 8K. I want to see how it runs. And if it runs at all, it will be fun. Allow me a second that I have to load those drivers, but yeah. Okay, we're back into the PC now. So let's first go into the NVIDIA control panel, because to enable 8K, I need to enable DSR, or Dynamic Super Resolution. So we force a higher resolution. So DSR on 4 times. Since we have a 4K monitor, that will be 8K. And yeah, apply. All right, it's saved. Let's launch Hitman 3. Time to launch Hitman 3. I recently got all the old Hitman games on GOG for 575. Well, 575 euros, that's super cheap. And those are great games. My favorites are out of those is Blood Money, but the other ones are also good in their own way. Did the PCI Express slot started to get loose yet? No, not yet, but soon. Good thing I saved up some money for when that happens, so I can buy another motherboard. But yeah. Anyways, let's go for the highest. So highest settings. We're also going to try variable rate shading after we see how it runs. So allow me a second. Okay, it's done. Let's jump into the game. Momento, hello everyone. I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing Hitman 3. Not Hitman Contracts, Hitman 3 2021. So let's give it a try. Let's see how it goes. 4 cores, 4 threads in 2021 should be enough for over 30 in most games. But yeah, should be fine. As long as you don't have 2 cores, 4 threads, as long as you have more than that, at the moment it's doable. But yeah, it won't be the best experience. So yeah, hang on. So connecting to Hitman 3, yeah, error. So the servers in Hitman 3 are getting a good hit, release day. Let's jump into Mendoza. Yeah, whatever. Spoiler alert, yeah, sure. I'm going to drink some water. Alright. So we're back, and as you can see, with the highest settings, we're getting 45 FPS. On the 580 we're getting 30, but the GPU wasn't being utilized at its maximum potential. So let's lower that draw distance to medium. And as you can see now, we're over 60. So as you can see, the NVIDIA GPUs are being utilized at its maximum potential. So yeah, at least in this game, you need less CPU for the NVIDIA cards.
You got my message.
So yeah,
You'd never get caught.
anyways,
Not unless you wanted to be seen.
by just lowering
So what's the plan?
those LODs to medium, you can
Not
max
the
it
only
out
one who's
just
been
fine.
busy, 47.
So
I'm
excellent.
this close to becoming the next
So yeah, good
constant.
numbers,
I'll
good
be able
stuff.
to dismantle Providence from the inside. Only one chance.
Yeah, got him. So yeah, 60 frames, super easy on the 1650 Super, as you can see. Just medium textures, just medium level of detail. The rest in the highest, and you get 1080p 60 basically. So time to test BRS, variable rate shading. So let's see the numbers first with the save file, and then we'll do the same run. So when I'm standing in this spot, I'm getting 60s locked. So perfect. Let's now enable variable rate shading. We need to close the game and try it again. That's in the game. Are you streaming on normal or low latency? Because the stream delay seems to be pretty high. I'm streaming on normal latency because low latency and ultra low latency do not work at 4K. And I'm trying to do the highest quality stream I possibly can. So to do a 4K live stream, you need to do normal latency. There's no other option. And since this will be a video posted on YouTube, I can do the highest quality I can. So yeah, I have a super high latency with you guys, but I can get great quality out there, and I can at least talk to you guys in sort of real time. I can still read your chats. Should I wait for the 3050 Ti or get the 5500 XT? I mean, if you're patient, just wait. It's pretty hard to get a good GPU at a good price at the moment. But if you're patient, just wait for the prices to drop. They're probably going to drop soon. So yeah. Couldn't they just make one Hitman game and release all new missions on it? I mean, just think about it this way. How can you afford to do something like that? I mean, they already had very little money to do Hitman 1. On Hitman 2, their publisher was super... how to say it? Super not good with them. And then, I mean, those levels are so replayable that the development cost is probably wasn't going to be worth it. So anyways, with that out of the way, I'm glad that you can at least play the previous games on this game, to say it in some way. Variable rate shading, as you could see, it increased like 2 FPS. So from 60, we jump all the way up to 62, sorry. So the improvement is very little, but it's there. So if you care about that, you can get a couple extra frames. But I don't think it's worth enabling it. At least not right now. Let's see with the highest draw distance. Yeah, the highest draw distance is still a huge hit for the game. We drop all the way down to the 40s. So yeah, let's disable variable rate shading and try 1440p after that. So medium level of detail. And let's disable the variable rate shading. Doesn't seem to do much for this game, at least right now. Gonna get bricked on the face. Yeah, soon I'm going to start throwing bricks around. It's going to be fun. 4 cores, 8 threads, 1650 Super. Yeah, should be okay. Should be fine. So no variable rate shading. And let's get into the game again. Is a 1650 Super worth playing 2021 games? Well, at the moment, it's doing okay, so yeah, should be fine. This game also was like, it's not super demanding. I mean, by just lowering the level of detail to medium, you can max the rest out and get 50 to 60, so good stuff. Runs okay, basically. Should I wait for the RTX 3050 Ti or buy the 1650 Super or 1660 Ti or 1660 now? It depends, man. If you need one right now, get what's available. And if you can wait, wait. I mean, I probably personally wait, because if we get an RTX 3050 or 3050 Ti, we're going to have DLSS, we're going to have basic ray tracing, probably. So that will be better for the future. But maybe at that point you're already... I mean, we don't know when that's going to happen, so I'd rather have a GPU to play games now and then wait.
Let's just humor him. Yates likes his
So yeah, as you can see, medium level of detail, 1080p ultra. That's how you do it. You get 60s. So let's now do 1440p. So a higher resolution. That looks a lot better. Hey, Nooktown Gaming, how are you doing, man? Good seeing you. So 1440p on the highest settings with medium level of detail. We're getting over 40 just fine. So 40 frames at 1440p, running okay. You don't need much at all. Looks so much better though at 1440p. Super sharp.
Caught on camera. Not unless you want it to be
So yeah, if you can do 1440p and you don't mind about the frame rate, you can do it this way. You get over 30 frames. You get very sharp visuals.
I'll be able to dismantle properties from the inside.
So yeah, I mean, looks pretty good. And you get the awesome reflections. So if you want 60s, do 1080p ultra, medium level of detail. If you want 30s, do 1440p with those same settings I mentioned. And that should do it. So let's try to get 60s on, what's the name of this, at 1440p. Not sure if that's going to work, but hey. ¿Cómo crees que vaya con un i3 8100 y una 570? Si la RAM está en dual channel, debería ir a 60 en una mezcla entre alto y medio en 1080p. Okay, so now that I reloaded the level, come on, I don't know what's happening, but I'm getting 20 frames now. The heck, Hitman. That shouldn't be happening. I should be getting 40s. Maybe if I reload the level. Yeah, I think the VRAM is an issue here. Huh. So interesting. Let's lower. Let's reload the level. I think that, yeah, maybe high textures is too much for a 4GB card on 1440p. So let's lower those textures to normal. Okay, that was the issue. So if you're doing anything over 1080p on a 4GB card, make sure to lower textures to medium. At 1440p uses more than 4GB, so make sure to do that. As you can see, that fixed the problem. So yeah, time to try 60 frames. So we're going to go for low settings. Oh, variable rate shading is here. Interesting. Let's see if it changes anything. 42. Okay, yeah, a couple frames. That's improvement. So we might use it to get 60 frames, who knows. Let's try everything on low. Alright, so everything on low. Let's keep variable rate shading on performance to get a couple extra frames. So 1440p low plus BRS, variable rate shading, and medium textures. We're getting 50s here. Let's see how it goes. Probably going to keep 60s even when fighting, but hey, time to find out. Give me 1050 Ti benchmark. I already did it. Just rewind the live stream. And you'll be fine. Yeah, it's doing fine. As you can probably notice. So yeah, over 50 at 1440p on low settings, so decent stuff. I just had to lower those textures. So let's do now 4K. So 4K is something you probably are not going to do with a 1650 Super, but I like to do it. It's fun. It's fun to give that a try. So allow me a minute to pause the game and try it. So 4K. 4K. Okay, 4K now. And let's do lowest settings. So lowest of the lowest of the lowest. All right. Yeah, everything on the lowest at 4K. So this is 4K lowest plus variable ray shading. And textures is probably going to go to low. Yeah, it's already going over the VRAM limit, so low textures. So lowest settings plus VRS at 4K, and I'm getting over 30 frames per second now. So yeah, if you want to do 4K, you can do it, but you need the lowest settings.
You'd never get that one.
Yeah, you low-key love how they casually throw grenades between civilians. Yeah, true. Those are flash grenades, though.
You're not the only one
But
who's
still,
been
that's
busy
pretty
for
hilarious.
47.
They just do not care at all.
I'm this close to becoming the next constant.
They don't get paid enough to be worried about civilians. Yeah, at 4K you can do 30 frames per second on the lowest settings. Yeah, we stay at 30 frames, so yeah, if you want to do 4K for some reason, you can do it. But you're getting 30s with that. You notice better lighting quality in your face cam? Yeah, it's daytime, so I try to take advantage of the lighting in daytime. So thanks for noticing it. I'm trying to like myself better. Who was supposed to get wrecked in the face got headshot? Well, yeah, but I think it's a better trade-off. So as you can see, 4K, doable. Let's try now 8K. Let's see if it even works at 8K. So I have it right here, 8K. Let's see if the game even works like this. Oh man, it froze. Okay, it appears to be working. So 8K, lowest settings. And like on the previous game, okay, it works, awesome. Of course, we're maxing out the VRAM usage. We're maxing out everything. So the game is working at basically 1 FPS. I'm even unable to go out of the menu. Okay, it's saving my settings. Come on, you can do this game. I trust you, 1650 Super. Come on, 1650 Super is 1 FPS probably. But hey, let's give it a shot. 15 FPS? No. Even between 1 and 0 FPS. That's what's going to happen. That happens on every game. I try 8K at with a 4GB graphics card. As you can see, only 1 FPS. And the frame time is at 1370 milliseconds. So it's pretty difficult. I mean, it's cinematic 1 FPS. Okay, I think we are able to get into the game. Let's see. Okay, it's working. As you can see, at 1 frame per second. And the video memory, it's screaming. The GPU is screaming. I mean, look at that. So cinematic. Looks incredible. I mean, it would be even faster if I drew each frame by hand. But hey, I'll take it. So as you can see, 8K is absolutely fantastic. Best gaming experience ever. I can see all the wrinkles in 47's face. I can see everything. I can see even the electrons flying around. I can see everything. So yeah, I'm not going to touch the card because it's going to explode. But yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm going to do now the 2060, but I have to do a separate live stream. So allow me 1 second. I'm going to put the other live stream as public, so you guys can see it. This is for, we are at, yeah, let's put it at 1:05 p.m. and public. All right, so I'm going to do the 2060 in a few minutes. I hope I see you there, guys. I'm going to paste the link so you can join me on the other one. So as I was saying, yeah, the game runs okay, very good. As you can see, 8K, the best way to experience this game. The next live stream is coming after this one. I'm going to take like 10 minutes, go to the bathroom, drink some water, and be back with you guys, but testing the 2060. I'm not going to have this same interface because the 2060 is removing the background, but I'm going to try it out once more and play a little bit of the game to see what's about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream watching with me. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the continued support, and I'll see you in a few minutes. See you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in a few minutes.